Have you ever sat alone late at night, realizing that no matter how bad you feel, the world keeps spinning? No one pauses to ask if you're okay. You might be hurting, frustrated, or lost, but others are busy with their own lives. In that moment, you understand. No one cares how many times you fall. No one cares if you're wrestling with loneliness, procrastination, or fear of failure. No one cares, and that's the best thing that could happen to you. Because when you stop expecting someone to save you, you learn to stand on your own. When you stop living for pity or understanding, you start living to be strong and free. That's the essence of Stoicism, an ancient yet timeless philosophy. It doesn't offer sweet comfort. It holds a mirror to your face and says, "This is you. This is life. You have two choices. Keep blaming, hiding, or freezing, or stand up, take control, and act." This video shares 12 core Stoic lessons to help you forge unyielding inner strength. Live with courage unshaken by praise or criticism, and become the strongest version of yourself. If you're ready to cut through the pretense and get to the core, keep watching. And if you're serious about change, comment now. Nobody cares, and that empowers me. Like this video as a declaration of a new beginning, and subscribe to join me on the journey back to your true self. Number 1, your worth doesn't depend on applause. From childhood, we're conditioned to crave praise. A nod of approval from a teacher, a clap from parents, a compliment for a job well done. These create an internal mechanism. I'm only valuable when others say I am. When no one praises, notices, or acknowledges us, we start doubting ourselves. But Stoic philosophy bluntly rejects this logic. It declares your worth doesn't lie in applause. It's not in the crowd's gaze. It doesn't come from likes, views, or compliments. Your worth is something you establish from within, and only from within. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful emperor of ancient Rome, wrote in his private journals, "If you believe you're doing what's right, keep doing it, even if the world stays silent." Pause and reflect on that. A man with dominion over an empire still needed to remind himself of this daily. Because even he, celebrated, praised, immortalized in history, knew that those things are fleeting, external, and hollow without a solid inner core. In today's world, this rings truer than ever. Social media fuels an obsession with being noticed. Every post, story, or status is a quiet plea. Please care. When we don't get enough engagement, we feel empty, disappointed, even invisible. But Stoicism teaches you don't need to be seen to be valuable. You don't need applause to be worthy of yourself. Your worth isn't in the masses, it's in your commitment to the principles you set for yourself and living them even when no one's watching. Picture a craftsman. He works in silence, no stage, no audience, no applause. Yet every carve, every detail carries his full devotion. Not because someone's watching, but because that's how he honors his craft and himself. A Stoic lives the same way. They don't need a spotlight to shine. They know true strength doesn't require recognition to stay on the right path. If you're constantly checking what others think of you, ask yourself, who are you living for? If no one praises, claps, or notices, will you still have the drive to do what's right? If the answer is uncertain, you might be letting others hold your sense of worth. That's a trap, because today they may adore you, tomorrow they may turn away. If you live for validation, you're always at their mercy. But if you live by your inner values, nothing can shake you. This doesn't mean you should be cold, detached, or ignore feedback. It means you don't let others' words define you. You can accept input, learn, improve, but ultimately, you're the one responsible for how you live. When you know what's right, you don't need applause to confirm it. When you do something good, you don't need the world to see it. When you live true to your values, you don't need consensus to know you're on track. Stoics believe inner peace outweighs any external praise, because today they may cheer you, But tomorrow, when you no longer fit their expectations, they'll leave you behind. Without a strong inner core, you'll be swept up in the waves of praise and criticism, likes and dislikes, right and wrong. You'll live like a leaf, drifting with the wind. But you're not a leaf, you're a tree, and you need to grow deep roots within before reaching for the sun and wind outside. If you're ready to stop living for applause, comment, "I don't need praise to be worthy." Write it to etch it into your mind. Hit like if you believe true strength comes from what you do when no one's watching. And subscribe if you want to continue the journey to become a version of yourself that's independent, unshaken, and uncompromising. Number 2, external validation is a trap. Have you ever done something well, something right, only to feel let down because no one acknowledged it? Maybe you poured your heart into a project, overcame a major challenge, or surpassed your own limits. But no one said a word, no one praised, no one noticed. Suddenly you question the value of what you did. That's a clear sign you've fallen into the trap of external validation, a subtle, common, and deeply dangerous pitfall for anyone on a journey of self-growth. External validation isn't inherently bad. It's a natural part of human society. We're wired to respond positively to encouragement, but the problem comes when you rely entirely on it to define yourself. When you let your worth hinge on others' approval, you're handing over your inner power to the outside world. You're no longer steering your life's ship. You're just waiting for permission to move forward. The worst part? That permission is never stable. It shifts with others' moods, tastes, biases, and sometimes their envy. Epictetus emphasized, what's beyond your control shouldn't rule your mind, and nothing is less in your control than others' emotions, opinions, and judgments. You can't make everyone like you. You can't make everyone understand you. The more you try, the further you drift from your true self. You start living by a script others write just for a fleeting moment of applause. But when the stage lights dim, you're left empty, unsure of who you are without others' eyes on you. That's the trap. It's sweet but deadly. It doesn't hurt immediately. In fact, it feels good at first. Someone praises you and you feel worthy. Someone gives positive feedback and you feel loved. But then you get addicted to that feeling. You bend yourself to sustain it. You stay silent when you should speak up. You nod when you disagree inside. You smile when you're no longer happy. You choose safety over authenticity, all to avoid losing that validation. Stoics offer a different path. They don't reject recognition, but they don't depend on it. They know their worth comes from ethical actions, from living consistently with reason, from doing what's right without needing applause. A Stoic asks, am I living true to my principles? Not what do others think of me? When you shift your focus from external to internal, you reclaim true freedom. Ask yourself, if tomorrow everyone stopped caring about you, would you keep living as you do now? Would you still do the work you're doing, maintain your lifestyle, pursue your values? If the answer is no, you might be living for recognition, not for authenticity. That's when you need to start breaking free from this dependency. Start small, journal daily, not to post online, but to reflect on yourself. Do good without anyone knowing. Make tough decisions even if misunderstood, as long as you know you're right. Accept that some won't like you, won't understand you, might even criticize you, and still live on with unshaken peace. That's strength. That's freedom. That's something no one can give you. You have to forge it yourself. If you've lived tethered to others' approval but now want to step out of that trap, comment, I don't need validation to live authentically. Write it to anchor it in your mind. Hit like if you feel it's time to live by your inner standards without needing anyone's permission. And subscribe if you want to continue building unshakable inner strength from the ground up, where no one can sway you anymore. Number 3, Focus on what you can control. Many things exhaust you, not because they're too heavy, but because you're trying to control what isn't yours to control. You worry about others' reactions, society's injustices, outcomes that haven't happened, or a past you can't undo. Your mind is flooded with things beyond your reach, yet you cling. You try to force them, thinking if you push harder, things will bend to your will. That's an illusion, and that illusion leaves you drained, confused, and directionless. Stoics understand that life is a chaotic stream. You can't control who loves or hates you, stop the rain from falling, or guarantee what tomorrow brings. But you can control the most important thing, how you respond to the world. You can't master the external world, but you can master your inner one. That's the difference between living with awareness and living in helplessness. Epictetus said, "There are two things, those within your control and those not." True freedom comes only when you clearly distinguish between them. You can't change how others treat you, but you can choose calm over impulsive reactions. You can't control the outcome of a competition, but you can train with all your effort. You can't ensure every endeavor succeeds, but you can commit to acting with kindness, discipline, and integrity. When you learn to focus on what you can control, you feel lighter, clearer, and freer. The things you can't control, you let them be without dwelling. The things you can control, you pour your mind and energy into them. This isn't passivity, it's wise living. It's how you protect your mental energy for what truly matters. Because if you keep pouring energy into futile things, you'll have nothing left for what counts. Imagine a sailor on a stormy sea. Waves crash, winds howl, currents shift. He can't control the ocean, but he can control the oars, steer the rudder, and choose how to respond to the storm. The weak blame the waves. The strong focus on the oars. You're the same. Every day brings its own storms. The question is, are you spending time complaining about the waves or honing your skill to steer? If you feel out of control, pause and ask, is this within my power to influence? If yes, act. If no, let it go. Don't try to force the world to spin your way. Learn to pivot yourself, adapting without losing your core values. If this resonates with you, comment below. I focus on what I can control. Write it to reaffirm your choice to live this way. Hit like if you're learning to let go at the right time and hold fast where it matters. And subscribe if you want to keep building unshakable inner strength, bit by bit, in a world that's always in flux. Number 4, live for your inner standards, not the crowd. In a noisy world where everyone wants to speak, be heard, and be noticed, it's not easy to hold on to your own standards without being swept away by the crowd. Social media constantly bombards you with idealized models and shoulds. What you should have, what you should do. If you're not careful, you can lose your true identity. But those who live by Stoic principles understand that what matters isn't how many people agree with you, but whether you're living true to the principles deep within you. Here's a truth you must accept from the start. You can't please everyone. The more you try, the more you sacrifice yourself. You say what they want to hear, act how they expect, become a copy of someone the crowd applauds. But at night when no one's around, when it's just you and yourself, you feel empty. Because you're no longer living, you're performing. And no stage lasts forever. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't live as if you'll live forever." You're wasting your life worrying about what others think of you. Those words are a wake-up call. Every moment you live for others' expectations is a moment you abandon yourself. So you must return. Return to what you believe is right, to the values you choose, to the principles you want to uphold, even if no one supports you, even if some criticize you, even if your path is a solitary one. The crowd is fickle. Today they cheer you. Tomorrow they may turn away. Today they call you inspiring. Tomorrow they might call you fake. If you let your mood rise and fall with their feelings, you'll forever be a ship without a compass. Stoics don't live that way. They're the captain, not a passenger. They steer by their inner compass, not the noise outside. They don't fight the world, but they don't lose themselves to blend into it. Living by your inner standards doesn't mean you ignore advice or stop learning. It means you filter. You listen, but you weigh. You take in feedback, but you retain the final say. Above all, you don't let others' opinions become mandatory laws in your mind. Because once you live that way, you've traded your freedom for fleeting acceptance. If you've ever felt the inner conflict of trying to please everyone, you know how exhausting it is. It drains your life's energy, disconnects you from yourself. But you don't have to keep going that way. You can stop. You can ask, what are the values I truly believe in? What principles do I want to live by? Am I willing to stand by them, even if no one walks with me? If the answer is yes, congratulations. You're starting to live with true strength. If you're on that journey, leave a reminder for yourself. I live by my inner standards. Write it down as a serious commitment. Hit like if you've ever been tired of living to please others, and subscribe if you want to keep returning to your true essence. No crowd needed, just clarity and honesty within. Number 5, criticism and praise mean the same in Stoicism. In life, praise and criticism are two sides of the same coin, coming from others, the crowd, social media, family, even strangers. We're often pulled between these extremes like a puppet. Praise makes us euphoric, feeling valuable and energized. Criticism wounds us, makes us withdraw, and seeds self-doubt. But Stoics don't overvalue either. To them, praise and criticism are just external noise, and that noise should never touch your inner core. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Praise and criticism, though different in form, should not have the power to define you." This doesn't mean you should be numb or ignore all feedback. It means you don't let yourself depend on it. When someone praises you, they're just sharing their perspective. Maybe right, maybe wrong, often incomplete. When someone criticizes you, it's the same. Both come from outside. Neither changes the truth of who you are if you know that truth from within. Here's the twist. Both praise and criticism can trap you if you're not vigilant. Get addicted to praise, and you'll start living to chase more of it. You'll take the easy, safe path to please others instead of staying true to yourself. Fear criticism, and you'll avoid challenges, shy away from standing out, or silence your own voice. In both cases, you lose your inner freedom, the most precious thing a Stoic guards. Instead of fixating on what others say, Stoics focus on one question. Is this aligned with my values? If the answer is yes, they act, regardless of external reactions. If the answer is no, they stop, even if it's being wildly praised. This builds a consistent life where praise doesn't make them complacent and criticism doesn't break them. They're not swayed by the tides of opinion because they've chosen to be their own anchor. Imagine standing on a stage with two groups in the audience, one clapping, one booing. If you keep looking at them, your emotions will swing endlessly. But if you focus on your performance, on why you stepped onto the stage, on the value you want to bring, you'll stay steady. That's how Stoics live. They don't seek comfort. They seek what's right. And what's right doesn't need noise to prove it. In daily life, practice this by pausing before reacting to feedback. Take a deep breath and ask, does this feedback help me improve, or is it just noise? If it helps, note it and grow. If it's meaningless judgment, let it pass like a breeze. Don't let anyone control your mind with a few thoughtless words. If you've ever let criticism hold you back or been swept up in the high of praise, start fresh today by commenting, I won't let praise or criticism control my worth. Write it not to convince others, but to remind yourself. Hit like if you're learning to listen inward more than react outward. And subscribe if you want to keep building inner strength, where stability comes not from others' eyes, but from the clarity within you. Number 6, your value is self-created. Your value isn't something someone hands to you. It doesn't come from degrees, fame, or what others say about you. It's not in your social media followers or your bank account. Those things can vanish overnight, and if you tie yourself to them, you'll live in constant fear of losing them. Stoics refuse to be defined by what's fleeting. They choose a deeper, more enduring path. They create their own value from within. Epictetus was once a slave. He had no freedom, no wealth, no status, yet he became one of the ancient world's most influential philosophers. Why? Because he knew no one could strip him of his dignity unless he surrendered it himself. Dignity, integrity, reason, resilience, these are the true components of value. No one can assign you worth unless you accept it, and no one can take away the value you've built from inner strength if you truly live it. In a world obsessed with labels, it's easy to get caught in the comparison game. Someone's more successful, smarter, more recognized, but comparison makes you forget you weren't born to be someone's copy. You were born to be the fullest version of yourself. That happens when you stop counting what you lack, start seeing what you have, and ask, how can I grow this? Value is what you create by living consistently with your principles. Every kept promise adds to your value. Every right action, unseen by others, adds to your value. Every choice to be kind when you could retaliate adds to your value. No spotlight, no audience, no applause needed. Inner value is quiet, but it shines through how you live, the energy you carry, the presence you bring to every space you enter. You can't demand others recognize your worth if you haven't lived it yourself. But once you've built true value from within, you no longer need their recognition. This doesn't mean you ignore feedback. You listen, adjust, improve, but you don't change your core to fit someone's expectations. Pause and ask, am I living true to the values I believe in? Am I investing in my inner strength or chasing fleeting, measurable things? If you've been caught up in superficiality for too long, that's okay. Any moment is a good moment to turn inward. Start today with something small. Keep your word, do what's right, be kind, even if no one notices. If you're ready to create your own value instead of waiting for others to validate you, comment, I build my value from within. That's a commitment. Hit like if you believe true strength lies not in what you show the world, but in how you uphold yourself in every circumstance. And subscribe if you want to keep building a life of worth, not for anyone else, but because you deserve it. Number 7, inner courage is quiet but unshakable. True courage isn't shouting, I'm fine to a crowd. It's not standing on a podium preaching resilience or pretending to be strong to mask fear. Real courage is quiet, deep, like a hidden reef. You don't see it on the surface, but it holds a person steady through the fiercest storms. Stoics understand that courage lies not in appearances, but in the heart. It's not something you display for recognition. It's how you live day by day, when no one knows what you're enduring. In today's noisy world, everything demands to be shown. Sadness must be aesthetic, effort needs a hashtag, tears must be artful to evoke sympathy. But Stoicism teaches, if what you're doing is right, no one needs to know. If you're fighting a tough battle, getting up each morning is proof enough of your strength. No need for stories, no need for points. Courage doesn't require recognition, it requires practice. Epictetus said, difficulties don't make a person, they reveal who they are. When life isn't smooth, when you're rejected, when plans collapse, when trusted people turn away, that's when you discover who you are. You could complain, blame, or seek pity, Or you could choose differently. You could sit still, acknowledge the pain, face it in silence, and start again, step by step. That's courage. And that courage doesn't need applause. This kind of courage is innate. It's built daily. Every time you face the truth without running, you're training. Every time you speak what's right despite being misunderstood, you're training. Every time you fail but don't quit, you're training. With enough practice, you forge an inner foundation no one can break. Others may see no change on the outside, but inside you're becoming someone unshaken by trivial things. Stoics don't flaunt courage. They let actions speak. They don't need to prove anything. They just keep going. If they're lost, they find their way. If they fall, they rise. If they're hurt, they heal in silence. This courage isn't loud, but it radiates an invisible strength others feel. It doesn't make you stand out. It makes you someone others can lean on. If you're facing something tough that no one understands, know this. You're not weak for not sharing. You're not alone for staying silent. And you don't need to prove anything. As long as you keep moving forward, however slowly, however small, you're showing a courage not everyone has. If you're walking this path, living courageously in silence, comment, "I choose courage without needing to prove it." Write it not for others to see, but to affirm it to yourself. Hit like if you've had to be strong in silence. And subscribe if you want to keep building an inner strength that's quiet but unbreakable. Number 8, build an inner citadel. Within each of us is a space no one else can enter, a private realm where you alone decide what stays and what goes. Stoics call this the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind. It's not an abstract concept or theory, but a way of life. This fortress isn't built with bricks and stone, but with awareness, principles, discipline, reason, and self-respect. When you construct this citadel, you no longer live reactively. You're not easily shaken by emotions or circumstances. You know who you are, where you stand, and you're ready to face any storm from the outside. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor navigating political pressure, war, and betrayal, maintained a quiet peace, not because he was lucky, but because he built a robust inner citadel. In private journals never meant for publication, he reminded himself daily to guard his mind like a fortified stronghold. He allowed nothing from the outside, praise, judgment, fear, or temptation, to breach it without passing through the filter of reason. Building your inner citadel starts with deliberately choosing what you let influence you, what you hear, read, and think about daily. You can't control the world, but you can control the gate to your mind. That's the first place to defend. Don't let negative news, toxic words, or pointless comparisons invade what should be your safest space. This fortress is also strengthened through actions. Every kept promise, even in secret, every time you rise despite exhaustion, every choice to be kind instead of reacting impulsively, you add another brick to your inner citadel. It's a long process, one no one can do for you with no shortcuts. But once it takes shape, the difference is clear. Others may spiral into chaos. You stay calm. The world outside may unravel, but inside you have an anchor to return to. The beauty is you don't need special conditions to start. You don't need wealth, power, or perfection. You just need to be willing to build bit by bit. Today you might identify one core value to uphold. Tomorrow you add a habit to steady your mind. Then you learn to pause before reacting to attacks. Gradually, you'll feel less vulnerable, not because you've closed yourself off, but because you've built an inner space strong enough to shelter you. The inner citadel isn't about escaping. It's not a wall to avoid conflict. It's a place where you forge yourself to be strong enough to step out and face the world as it is. With it, you don't need to wear a mask of strength. You don't need to outdo anyone or prove anything. You can walk through life with quiet freedom, knowing that while everything may change, you're not easily toppled. If you're building that citadel, even just starting, comment, "I'm building my inner citadel every day." Write it to commit to yourself. Hit like if you believe an inner sanctuary is stronger than any external noise. And subscribe if you want to keep living firmly, mindfully, and in a way that nothing can break you down. Number 9, daily reflection is power. In a fast-paced world where everyone rushes to get things done, hit goals, or do more, we're losing one of the most powerful habits, pausing to look within. People think progress comes from relentless action, tireless effort. But those who live mindfully know that true growth isn't about how much you do, it's about what you learn each day. That's the power of self-reflection. For Stoics, it's not optional, it's a duty of living. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, warrior, philosopher, wrote to himself every night. Not for an audience, not for publication, not to impress, just to ask, did I live rightly today? Did I act from reason or let emotions take over? Was I kind, steadfast, just, restrained? These questions weren't mere ritual. They were the truest mirror, showing him who he was so he could live better tomorrow than today. You can do the same. Just 5 to 10 minutes daily, sitting quietly, no phone, no noise, no pretense. Just you and yourself. Write down 3 things you did well, 1 thing you could improve, 1 thing you'll work on tomorrow. No need for eloquence or length, just honesty, because only truth can take you deep into your inner world and spark change from the roots. Self-reflection isn't self-blame. It's not about digging up flaws to torment yourself. It's the act of the strong, someone who dares to face their shortcomings without running, excusing, or blaming. It's how you forge a clear mind, a humble heart, and a resolve that keeps improving. By practicing this daily, you'll spot negative patterns you missed before. You'll see what drains your energy, what pulls you from your core values, and you'll gain the power to adjust early before things spiral into regret. Those who don't reflect get swept up in momentum. They act without knowing why. They react instead of choose. They live unaware of what drives them, emotions, old habits, or unseen fears. But those who reflect live differently. They're aware. They respond, not react. They live not just to finish tasks, but to grow. You don't need to wait for year's end to review. Life unfolds daily, so your review should be daily too. Each night ask, what promises did I keep today? Did I act true to my values? Is there anything I need to apologize for or forgive, others or myself? Ask these questions consistently, and your inner strength will grow steadily, like a small stream carving a river over time. If you've never tried, start today. Grab a pen and write what you want to remember from this day. If you started but stopped, come back to it. This small act will make a big difference in your growth. If you're committed to building inner strength daily through self-reflection, comment, I train my mind daily with reflection. Hit like if you believe the simplest habits can yield the greatest strength. And subscribe if you want to keep building a life that's deep, clear, and purposeful from within. Number 10, vulnerability is a strength when you own it. We grow up believing we must be strong, resilient, and hide our pain, wounds, or weaknesses. Showing vulnerability or exhaustion feels risky. We fear being seen as weak, pitied, or judged. But Stoicism doesn't tell you to deny your emotions. Instead, it teaches that true strength isn't in rejecting pain, but in having the courage to face it, accept it as part of who you are, and still live with clarity, awareness, and purpose. Vulnerability isn't a flaw, it's human nature. Everyone hurts, everyone falls, everyone feels fragile at times. The difference lies in how you face it. Do you hide? Do you cover it up? Or do you acknowledge it honestly and choose to take control? Vulnerability becomes strength only when you own it. When you can say, I'm hurting, But I don't need saving. I need to be fully present with this pain and learn to move through it with reason and resolve. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If something pains you, it's also teaching you." This isn't about romanticizing suffering, but a reminder that pain doesn't need to be denied or buried. It needs to be seen, examined, and transformed. To do that, you must first allow yourself to feel it. The greatest courage isn't being perpetually fine. It's admitting when you're not and refusing to feel shame for it. There will be times when you're tired, maybe from failure, loss, or just a draining day. Slowing down in those moments isn't weakness. Crying doesn't make you less than anyone. Sharing your true emotions with someone trustworthy doesn't diminish your dignity. On the contrary, it's how you free yourself from the heavy mask and connect more deeply with yourself. Someone who embraces vulnerability with awareness is strong because they don't let it control them. They don't fear judgment because they've chosen authenticity over approval. The key is not letting pain define you. You don't let emotions dictate your actions, nor do you suppress them until they become a ticking time bomb inside. You observe them as a natural response, understand them, and move through them with awareness. This is what Stoics practice daily. They don't fight emotions, but they don't let emotions rule. They navigate pain with clarity, quietly without complaint, but also without denial. Owning your vulnerability also makes you more relatable and authentic in relationships. When you live truthfully, others feel safe to do the same. You don't always have to be tough. Sometimes softness at the right moment earns more respect. You don't need to hide behind achievements or force smiles. Be yourself, even when you're not okay. But be a self that's honest, striving, aware, and on the path to healing. If you've ever feared showing your true emotions, but now want to live more authentically, comment, "I won't hide my vulnerability, I own it." Write it to give yourself a safe space to start anew. Hit like if you believe vulnerability isn't weakness, but a doorway to depth. And subscribe if you want to keep living authentically, courageously, and with an inner strength that needs no disguise. Number 11, resilience means using pain as fuel. Life spares no one. There will be times when you're betrayed, when your efforts yield nothing, when you lose loved ones, fail at work, hit rock bottom, and feel like there's nothing left to hold on to. That's an inevitable part of being human. Yet while some collapse under the weight of pain forever, others rise, keep moving, and emerge stronger. What makes the difference? Resilience, the ability to recover, or more precisely, to use pain as fuel for inner growth. Stoics don't believe in avoiding pain. They don't deny emotions or blindly glorify suffering. Instead, they face pain with a specific question: what can I learn from this? For them, every wound is a chance to reflect, adjust, and grow stronger. Not because they don't feel pain, but because they refuse to let it end in complaints. They turn it into action, insight, and a stepping stone for what's next. You can't change what's happened, but you can always change how you respond. You can let loss shrink you or let it open your heart to compassion. You can let failure make you afraid or let it teach humility and patience. You can let an insult fill you with resentment or let it forge you into someone who stays silent with dignity. It all comes down to one choice. Will you carry pain as a burden or use it as fuel? Epictetus, once a slave, had his leg broken by his master. He carried that injury for life, but instead of letting it define him as a victim, he turned it into the foundation of his philosophy. He used his experience of pain to understand freedom, resilience, and personal responsibility more deeply. That's a living testament to the Stoic spirit. You don't choose what happens, but you always choose what it becomes in your life. If you're going through a tough time, I don't need to know the details to understand how you feel. But I can tell you this: the pain you're enduring, if you don't deny it, will teach you things no classroom can. It will give you an endurance you didn't know you had. It will give you eyes that see life with less superficiality. And if you're awake enough, it will show you how to use what once brought you down to stand up. Not as you were, but as a better version. Don't force yourself to be strong instantly. Don't pretend nothing happened. Let yourself hurt. But set a limit, then start rebuilding. You don't need to rebuild everything in a day. Just start. One good act, one changed habit, one mindful question, one kind gesture. Bit by bit, you're turning pain into a stepping stone. That's how resilient people live. They don't dodge life. They embrace it, both the beautiful and the rough, and use it all to evolve. If you're transforming pain into strength, comment, "I'm using my pain as fuel for growth." Write it to affirm your chosen path. Hit like if you believe what once hurt, you can also make you grow. And subscribe if you want to keep walking this journey of turning adversity into inner strength. One step each day, not perfect, just relentless. Number 12, focus on your path, not their reactions. You weren't born to please the world. Your path isn't a performance for the crowd to cheer or jeer with every step. You can't keep moving forward while looking back to see what others think. That's a surefire way to lose direction and doubt yourself. Stoics understand that everyone has their own journey, pace, and purpose. The most important thing is living true to the path you've chosen, regardless of others' reactions. When you start changing, living with discipline, or saying no to meaningless distractions to focus on growth, some people will react. Some won't understand. Some might call you over the top, fake, or out of touch. That's not your problem. Their reactions reflect their perspective and limitations, not your true worth. If you live by their noise, you'll soon revert to an older version of yourself just to fit in, a trade-off not worth making. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you're distracted by something, the fault lies not in it, but in your choice to let it affect you." You can't control how others think, speak, or judge, but you can control whether you let it disrupt your rhythm. If you know your path is right, keep walking. If your goal is worthy, stay committed. Don't expect everyone to understand. Don't wait for universal support. Just don't betray yourself. Focus is your most precious asset. Every time you let your mind stray from your path because of a comment, a skeptical glance, or a pointless comparison, you're draining energy from what matters most, your life. Those who live deeply don't need the crowd to guide them. They don't need applause to validate each step. They need one thing, inner clarity. That clarity comes from knowing where you're going, why you started, and how committed you are. Here's a truth to hold on to. The only person who will walk your entire journey, who will bear the weight of every choice, failure, and victory is you. Those who criticize you today may forget you tomorrow. Those who doubt you now might admire you later. But none of that matters as much as whether you dare to live true to yourself. If you trade authenticity for approval, you've given up what's most valuable. Build a new habit. When you feel shaken by others' reactions, return to this question. Am I living true to my values? If the answer is yes, don't stop. Each step on the right path, however lonely, slow, or misunderstood, is worth more than 1,000 steps in the wrong direction just to be cheered. That's how Stoics live, and it's how you can live, quietly but firmly, without needing permission, only your own agreement. If you're learning to focus on your path instead of others' reactions, comment, "I choose my path, not others' approval." Write it to reaffirm your direction. Hit like if you believe true strength lies not in being accepted, but in not needing acceptance. And subscribe if you want to keep living deeply, courageously, and steadfastly for what truly matters. You've journeyed through 12 Stoic lessons, not just philosophical ideas, but tools for living. Each lesson is a brick, and if you truly apply them, you're building a solid foundation to stand firm against life's currents. You won't need others to save you, praise to keep going, or be swayed by external noise. You'll live like an inner warrior, quiet, steadfast, clear, and grounded. But knowledge is meaningless without action. Knowing isn't enough. You must do. Hearing isn't enough. You must practice. Feeling inspired isn't enough. You must change. And change doesn't need to start big. Just decide, from today, I'll live more mindfully. I won't wait for others' validation. I won't back down from challenges. I won't lose myself to others' reactions. From today, I live for myself with reason, discipline, and values. If you're ready to embrace a life of authenticity and inner strength, comment, "I take responsibility for my life." Hit like if this video resonated with you. Share it to spread the spirit of living firmly amid chaos, and subscribe if you want to keep walking this path with me. Building unshakable inner strength, one day, one step, one strength at a time.